responsible for everything. It sends out an event.
What is this?
Anybody, which could be quests.
I was it for a second.
Any number of other stuff in the future, like pie in the sky idea. If we wanted to have like achievement tracking, for
You
example,
could play tag with
it's
other
so much easier to
tunes?
add achievements because now you could just listen to any event that you want, and instead of having to like, rewrite all the quest manager code, you can just use those events. So it's
Tune
much
tag.
cleaner and much easier to do, and that's all behind the scenes stuff that doesn't really get talked about too much. Good question.
Yeah, keep
Get
them
Sir
coming,
Max,
guys.
get 'em.
So I have questions from earlier in chat and from social media, but I'm also keeping an eye on chat as it's coming in. So if you have any questions for Rush, for Joey, for Tony, spit them out. I might write them down and pass them on. Let's see, what else have we got? This is a question about Under New Management. It's been just over a year since that was fully released. How do you all think that the release of Under New Management has impacted
Go, I got it!
Toontown
Tony, do you want to take this one?
I would love to, but honestly, I do want to pass this on to Rush.
I wanna give it to
Rush has
someone
given
else.
some
Where's
great
Joey?
insight in the past, in terms of just some optimistic longevity, just due to how we
That's good.
like, I wouldn't say reworked, but just really fleshed out the status effect
Beach
systems,
balls.
as well as just some of like the difficulty
There's Joey.
through like the supervisors of the facilities. I remember you talking a lot about that, Rush. So I want to pass it on to you, actually.
All right, we're just getting popcorn to all the questions. That's all right. I do remember that like one of the challenges that we had with Under New Management was just trying to get the status effects to be simple enough that it fit into like the Toontown battle mentality, but still being complicated enough to be interesting.
I like how when someone's it
something that I
becomes the
think really
complete opposite.
kinda,
They
like,
don't try to tag
ingrained
someone
in
else.
me
They
is
try to
that
keep it for as
Toontown
long
is
as
a
they
game that's
can.
really easy for anybody to pick up, but it has a lot of complexity that makes it difficult to master. But it's at its core not a very difficult game to begin with.
You can't catch me.
So
I'm in
how do you
the
add
pet
status
shop.
effects to the game that are
It's
interesting and
gone.
give you that depth of like
I killed
mechanics?
it.
But you know, you could have like a 60-year-old child come along, start playing the game, and still be able to figure it out. And I think that was something we really struggled with Under New Management. But
Oh
what we
my,
ended up
what's
with
this?
Was, like, I think we doubled the amount of status effects. We added like 20 or something to the game with Under New Management. But I think because of that very careful work that we did, it means that a lot of our future updates can reuse a lot of those same mechanics in interesting ways to still be really fun and interesting. Not to say that we're just gonna, copy and paste all the same ones. We'll probably still add new stuff, but I think that it gives us a really strong backbone. So if we wanted to add, like, I don't know, maybe joint ventures would have some status effects. Maybe new gags would have some new status effects. Like, we can kind of play around with all those systems, and I think that's really interesting. But I think Under New Management set us up really well for that.
For sure. That was a really good question. Thank you for sending that over. Now to pass lane to Tony for real.
You can't put it off this
so
time.
you can answer something. What has been your favorite project to work on, past or present, and were there any challenges with that project that you want to share with everybody?
A project that I struggled on, past or present, that I'd like to give insight on. Did I hear that correctly?
No, your favorite project that you've worked
Oh.
on, past or present, and were there any struggles that you want to share with everyone?
Well, definitely, I think Under New Management, since we're on that topic, is definitely something that I look back to really fondly, and there's a lot of great moments there. Especially, again, like Rush was saying, how we just had to really add a lot to this old game and try and keep it fresh and new. But at the same time, like, just kind of respecting the old vision of the game. And I think some of the most challenging things we've had to face, on top of just trying to add so many new things but keeping the game feeling like it's still Toontown, was, well, the status effects. But then also, I want to say, I honestly, cinematics, like the cutscenes, that was something like we were really intrigued with doing, but we didn't ever have like a system like that before. So I remember we had to like think of all like these small what ifs that constantly challenged us. Like, I remember it was like, okay, yeah, when a cutscene starts, we'll just have everyone in the battle. It's like, oh, but what if somebody's already in a battle? And just all these things you wouldn't consider. We just had to constantly just like rethink and like re-simulate it to see what new ideas or problems could come up. So I would say that's definitely like one of the biggest challenges, but it was definitely worth it. On top of the cutscenes, we just, it was like probably our first time in a long time, if ever, we've done like actual in-game cutscenes. Outside of, I guess, like what I think field offices technically counts as like having a cutscene with the
intro.
The
yeah,
credits.
The boiler. Oh, and
yeah, that.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I guess outside of that, it was like one of our first times doing like a bunch of different cutscenes. So that was definitely a fun challenge in of itself, and keeping it short because it was all about how do we get the point across of who these characters are in just a quick 15 to like 30-second cutscene that's not too repetitive or boring. So that was my biggest challenge, I would say, on that project. But great question, thank you.
Those cutscenes
Yes.
we stayed up late for them.
Yeah, Rush, I remember you had to do like actual mathematics for like that.
Yeah.
I don't
That's one of my favorite
remember.
moments. It was the club president. It was the intro cinematic. We were trying to get the shot of like how do we like introduce the club president, and we wanted to have. I had this idea of like what if we did like a spin around the club president sort of shot, like a spiral shot. And I remember that like in the Matrix they had like a whole crazy like camera setup to do bullet time, where they'd have like a million cameras like all in a spiral pattern, so you could like have each camera take videos and then like switch between the cameras to get faster frame rate than you normally would be able to. And I was like, wait, that's math. That's a like conic shape. I paid attention in math class at school. So I was like, what if we just write like we can't get a 3D artist to like write a script or for the camera to traverse because we don't have that technology necessarily, but I could write it in code. So I was up at 3 a.m. and I was like trying to remember the formula for like how do I write like a spiral shape in math using like sines and cosines. And I got this like really butter smooth like camera work. So when the club president is like coming down for a landing and then like the camera spins around her in the intro cinematic, that was 3 a.m. rush coding. And I'm kind of proud of that, but I'm also kind of scared of it.
Wow. Well, thank you all for that question. To cut in really quick, we do have some more donations. $25 from Auntie Jen Bean Teeth, awesome name. Thank you very much, and an awesome donation. And then Midnight Pig with another donation, $43.63, with the caption "Street, Street, Street, Street." I don't know what that means. Maybe they're excited for some of the new streets that we have on the way. That does kind of segue into our next question very slightly, because it does mention joint ventures, which in our little
Oh, now I
reveal
have to
video
try
of
for
that
real.
shows off the
Oh my
changed,
gosh, what type of combo is
characters, I
this?
believe.
Look at this.
With the positive reception
Okay,
of
here
the
we go, here we go.
supervisors and the announcement of joint ventures, do you ever foresee a new cog department or cog type?
Birthday cakes.
Ooh, that's a good question. It's certainly like new
Full.
cogs are always something that's on our mind, and I don't want to say that the idea of new cog departments has never come up, but usually when we talk about them, we're looking more at like the mini boss type of stuff that you get with the supervisors, just because we feel like we can make those a lot more interesting than say like a whole new cog department, where generally like maybe we could do a whole new cog department that has some interesting mechanic that's unique to them, but it's something that's sort of nice about the simplicity of like the
Wait,
base
that's
level
Jake's
cogs
easy
just
marble. I
being
wanna
cogs
add
that
Jake.
damage.
Yeah, there you go.
So for those reasons, we've been a little more focused on just like, could we add sort of one-off new cogs, like cogs that are supervisors or
That makes
bosses,
sense.
maybe executives, if the executive office tower tells us anything.
Is that Jake's party?
And that being our way to get sort of new types of cogs rather than a new cog department. So not to say we never would, but that's just sort of where our head is often at right now.
That makes sense. Thank you so much for your question. That gets me really excited. I personally am very excited for joint ventures too. Here's a question for Joey from Crimson Fox. Has the pie toss from IRL ToonFest affected your ability to enjoy cream pie?
That's a really good question. No, oddly enough, it hasn't. It maybe it's enhanced it in some ways. Like I'm the kind of person that will gladly like take a canister of whipped cream and just like spray it directly into my mouth. Which you would think that yeah, I would have gotten like grossed out or something by it from the amount of whipped cream that has been smashed in my face at ToonFest. But no, it's still great. I still would highly recommend. But man, I was certainly reflecting at this past ToonFest just how many of those pie tosses I've been a part of now. It's not quite 10, even though it was our 10th ToonFest, since I didn't get pied in Columbus, since I left a little bit early from that ToonFest. I did get pied for the online one, I believe. I think I recorded a video of that. So I think I'm at 9 pie tosses right now. And next year, wherever ToonFest ends up being, will be my 10th.
Wow. We'll have to make it extra special then. However, it does seem Tony disagrees. Tony, would you like to elaborate on that?
Can't do it. I can't put everything that he said, just the opposite. I can't do whipped cream. Whenever I think of whipped cream, I just think, when I think of like pies, I just think of that, and I go, you know, I'm good. I don't have any, and that's it. I don't bother explaining it to my non-Toontown friends or family because they're like, how do I explain that to them? It's like, yeah, so like once a year, like out of pocket, I like fly out, I go to this convention, and they just throw me with my pie, or throw me with pies. And my favorite part, just walking back in the heat, just covered in like whipped cream. Like you can't explain that to people.
That's your favorite part?
No,
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, I could smell them from across the convention hall.
Yeah.
My
A lot of
favorite
people may
part.
not realize just how long of a walk that is. You know, you get to see the exciting part of the pie toss, where we're all having fun and laughing, not the very sad walk back to the hotel to get cleaned up, where we're just like boiling in the heat and everyone's looking at us like, what the heck happened? Where did you all come from? And just like you just be like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, and you keep walking.
Where is he?
Yeah, to cut in with my own answer, I gotta say the one in Atlanta for ToonFest Birthday Bash was rough. That was a long walk. Most of it was outdoors in the beating sun, and we had played around a little bit with other, let's say, materials that we use for the pie toss. So we had like strawberry whipped cream that was all like red. We had birthday cake. We had cupcakes. We had the one that affected me the most was the key lime pies. For some reason, that one got stuck in my mustache. No matter how many times I showered or washed my face or, you know, scrubbed it, for days after, I could just smell constantly key lime pie. And to this day, I can't enjoy key lime pie. So.
Yeah.
I've been informed.
One thing I'll say is. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we need to change that next year.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think
next
so.
year. I heard some volunteers from the tech team after that was mentioned, but I'm telling you, like I hear so many horror stories about the whipped cream that gets stuck in your hair for days, no matter how many times you shower. Like Danny's story right there.
Yeah.
You know, with glowing reviews like that, who wouldn't want to get by?
Right? It sounds like a
Yeah,
blast.
well, it's so funny because all of us talk like that, but then we're like, no, but you should totally do it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I will say, all the years of pie tosses, I will advocate that I think the Kirkland, like Costco brand whipped cream is the best whipped cream that you can buy. I will advocate against the Walmart Great Value brand whipped cream, which we used in Oklahoma City last year for ToonFest, and believe it or not, if you look at pictures from that pie toss, our graphic artists had to edit my eyes so that they didn't look completely red and evil, because we used the Great Value brand whipped cream then, and it was something in it just really messed with all of us and like made our eyes very red. So that's in my opinion, COG branded whipped cream. They've put some chemical in there or something that doesn't play well.
And with oil.
Yeah,
Oh, oil,
exactly.
Well, as we've been chatting, I've been seeing a lot of questions about doodles, so I'll shift it to some of the questions I got earlier. This year at the Toonies, we got a video in about boodles for doodles, or AKA accessories
jeez.
for our doodles, and we also brought up an upcoming overhaul about how.
Oh, now he's
doodles
doing the
work
catching
and
game.
how, players interact with them. Are there any details that you all can share about upcoming doodle changes? Are doodle accessories possible? Are we going to have boodles for doodles?
The Boodles for Doodles was great. That was one of my favorite things that people submitted from the Toonies. And it's always great, too, when we get sort of like community-inspired concepts for like what we could work on like that. So they're not in active development, but I will say there was a lot of enthusiasm for them. I think even like Ron Weaver, our special guest judge especially, was excited about Boodles for Doodles. So it's got some Toontown Online developer advocacy behind it. So I don't know, maybe one day.
I think one time I did try seeing if I could glue some glasses onto doodles to see if it would fit. It kind of worked. It was a little bit awkward because I mean they're not really meant for doodles heads, but I remember we had some like concept artists who just went crazy and made a few like ideas for accessory for doodles. Again, not an active development, not something that we're like currently working on, but I love those concepts. They were really cute. So I'm definitely in support of it.
Mhm. I mean, as Rush said, not an active development, but back a while ago, you used to actually you had to submit a challenge when you applied as a producer to the team. And my challenge, and it had to be like this whole entire document, like pitching a new update for Toontown. And mine was like this elaborate, like, I don't remember how many pages, like document of like the Doodle Playday update. And it was just you just giving all the love you could like with your doodle. Like you could have like a little like I think
Oh my
I pitched, like, a
gosh.
little doodle,
I haven't
like,
seen this
farmhouse,
much in here
and that's,
before.
like, the wardrobe for your doodles. And I thought all like these pie in the sky ideas, and then I joined the team and I was like, that's really hard to do. Like, I don't know if we could do all that. And I'm like, but I had it right here. It only took like 3 months. I'm like, that's
Oh
not
my
how it
gosh,
works.
I've
So I'm
never
like,
seen
"Alright."
so.
So
I've
trust
never
me,
seen this.
I'm a big advocate of like all like these doodle changes, but it's a lot of work for sure. It's a lot of like technical knowledge that I truthfully don't always know. But I think the second it's possible,
I was gonna
and
do that.
easy, I think our team will jump right on it, like 100%.
We probably have to remaster doodles to make them flexible.
What are
enough
we
to take on
doing?
accessories. So maybe that's something that like with Toontown Remastered we could look into a bit more. Yeah, no promises, but I think that's like in like the order of how we'd have to do it. Probably that comes first, and then we can look into it.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for your doodle questions. I know
Look
there
at all
were
the
a lot of
pineapples.
them over
I've
this
never
entire
seen
stream.
this much
Just to
falling
do
in
a
this
quick
game.
Little point over to the charity that we're taking donations for. As always, it's Extra Life Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. This year, it's for Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children in Orlando. Donations stay local to fund critical treatments.
Oh, that's good.
Healthcare services, pediatric medical equipment, and charitable care. So any and all donations that we get for that are going to an amazing cause, not cogs.
No, don't give the money to the cog.
No, don't give it to them. And we are $42 away from our milestone for Joey to show off his little special surprise, and we are about 12 minutes away from the end of our segment. So if you want to see that little special surprise, now's the time to donate. Let's see.
Maybe I should donate.
Another question that we got is about Clear Coasts again. They want to know, will Clear Coasts
How do I
reveal
donate?
the final gag track? Are there any cheeky hints as to what that might be, if so?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You guys are sneaky, trying to get some answers out of us. Oh yeah, it looks like we're starting the fireworks here too, so I'll try and get a nice view for that in the party.
I should donate.
Let's see. So what can we say about new gag track for Clear Coast, or new gags in general for Clear Coast? So we have been spending a lot of time over the course of many months trying out all sorts of different gag ideas. Like truly like what feels like any possible gag mechanic you can think of. We have been pitching. We had a big meeting where it's like anyone on our team could submit ideas for new gags, and there were all sorts of documents made about that. It was super exciting. We had people vote for their favorites, and then from those favorites, we selected a few that we were going to try some prototypes of. We're getting very, very close to what we feel like is going to be like the new gag mechanic of Clear Coasts. We have sort of two ideas that we've narrowed it down to that we can't say exactly what they are yet. But I think as time goes on, you'll see more and more hints about what they might be, especially as we become a bit more confident in the ideas. There may even been some hints here and there already. So keep an eye out for those. I think something that is important to us is finding a way to bring status effects to the tunes. That's something that sort of Rush was touching on earlier about like how do we make sure that Toontown's battle system stays very easy to learn, very approachable for people who even wouldn't consider themselves gamers, but then has a lot of depth to make sure that you know, whether you are a casual gamer or someone who wants to be really hardcore into the strategy of Toontown, there's something for you there. And that's really difficult to design, especially when you start getting into the status effect territory and like more complicated battle mechanics. So the cogs have had their chance to try out status effects a bunch. They've used them on the tunes through the supervisors and the self-out field offices. And now we think it's time for the tunes to fight back a bit with some status effects of their own. So the new gags would definitely utilize that. Can't say for certain if it's a full new gag track or if it's something more along the lines of a battle reward or something else entirely, but those are all options that we're exploring.
Darn, I wanted to know that.
And yeah,
Guess
I
I'll
guess,
have to wait.
Tony or Rush, anything that's come to mind for you that you feel like we can say about
I went through
those
that
new
cloud.
gags that we're experimenting with?
Makes no sense.
I defer to Rush. I know Rush is more involved.
I will say that something that we had to be very, very, very careful about with under new management was making sure that tunes with any like combination of gag tracks could still be effective in battle. One of the most recent examples was with the club president, where we we did a playtest, we even like released it, but then we didn't realize that there were some players that were dropless, like some teams
there's
that
Yoshi.
had 4 tunes that were dropless that were doing the club president fight, and they were having a bad time. We just straight up didn't consider like what happens if all 4 tunes are dropless, and that really slows down the pacing of that fight. So we spent a lot of time just making sure that it doesn't matter what like permutation of tunes you have, with whatever track you're missing, you can still be effective in that kind of fight. So I want to be very careful with any sort of new gags that we add to make sure that no matter what it is, it doesn't invalidate all that balancing that we worked so hard on. So it's not, so crazy overpowered that this, like, any new gags that we get are just gonna, blow everything else out the water. Like, oh, we're adding Tune Up 2 that heals you for double, as like another option for you to carry or something like that. Like nothing like that. So just, I know that there's been some feedback about are we being careful about it, and trust me, we are being very careful to make sure that things are as balanced as possibly can be.
I should donate to this stream.
Thank you for your
I've never
question.
donated before.
An
Oh my
exciting
gosh, that's a lot.
development. We are now only $10 away from the goal because we got an anonymous donation of $32. So we are very, very close. Hopefully over the course of this next question, we can get that $10 in. Even
Okay,
if
I'm
you
gonna
wanted
do
to
it.
share $1 and make it a group effort, you could do that.
I'll up the ante that if we
I'm gonna
can get
donate
that
money to
$10
this stream.
in the next 2 minutes. So before
Okay, I have to do it.
7:55
Okay.
Eastern, I'll tell you one of the gag tracks that we aren't going to use for Clear Coast, but we did.
Okay, I have to donate.
Ooh.
I'm curious which one you're talking about.
I'm curious. Too.
curious
It's gonna be
too.
on the fly.
Everyone
decision.
donate. I want to know. I don't know.
I
what
should
to
just say
say.
Toontown has a bright
Sorry.
future.
He's just making up new gag tracks.
Well, I think we have time for one more question about Clear Coasts. It's kind of, I'll roll it into two and you can answer
okay,
one
so-
part or the other.
What about my
How
credit
did
card?
you come up with Clear Coasts, and what part of Clear Coasts are you most excited for? Feel free to take one or the other, or both.
How we came up with Clear Coasts, that playground in particular, like the theme of it was my pitch, but there were many pitches that we did very similar to the process I just described for gag tracks. We had something like 10 different playground themes that we had come up with across the
I'm
whole
gonna do it.
team. And everyone put different documents together and then pitched their ideas, and then we took
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
4 of them that we
I'll just do
actually
PayPal.
did a
My
sort
turn.
of pre-production round on, or maybe even call it like a concept and like exploring phase of things, where we did concept art, we developed some design documents, we took 4 ideas sort of like
I'm doing it.
to the completion stage of the concept and like gave them
Okay, here I
full
go. I
effort as if we were
donated.
going to
All right,
create
let's see if
that
it shows up.
neighborhood. And then of those 4, we narrowed it down to Clear Coast, which was one of the 4. And we did that by just like seeing what our team liked most, trying to think about what we felt like the community would like most, thinking about what felt best for sort of the trajectory of Toontown. Like there were some playground ideas that we felt like, well, this is a really good playground that we want to create, but maybe not as like the first one that we create. Like it might feel better as like one to come after it, and if we end up doing another one.
I thought I
And
donated.
so, eventually we landed on Clear Coast.
Did it show up?
I think the thing I'm most excited about for Clear Coast is
Maybe my
that
chat's
it's
behind.
designed
My
fully
stream's
to be
behind.
a
Okay.
playground that is for all of the Toontown community. So like just because it's a sort of like end
Whoa,
game
someone
playground,
donated
we don't want it
$125.
to feel like it's
That's
a
good.
challenging area, like say Donald's Dreamland, where like that has like a sense of difficulty that comes with it, where it's kind of like scary for new tunes to be there, and just the tone of the playground as well. You know, it's darker and it's nighttime. This one is designed to be a place that high-level tunes, low-level tunes, everywhere in between. can
Everyone's
have
going
fun
crazy
and
with the
have activities to
donations.
Enjoy there, because first, like we wanted it to be, since it is the first playground that we've done for Toontown Rewritten, we knew that people, especially new players, wouldn't want to wait until the end of the game to try it out. So we wanted to have something that kind of entices them to come play. And also, we've seen that like high-level tunes often really enjoy actually the challenge of working with lower level tunes when they get the opportunity. Like there's been fun content that we've seen just like posted on YouTube of like people trying to help 15 laugh tunes get through a field office, or even like Ubers are a big part of Toontown, where you have low level tunes with high level gags. And those are all like things that just the community through their own creativity created naturally. It wasn't something that was prescribed as part of the game. And we're kind of like taking inspiration from the community in that way to think, what are ways that we can take those things that people find fun and encourage more of it, or in different ways, like to give content that fits what the community wants to do beyond just leveling up tunes and battling cogs, which will of course still be a part of the neighborhood, but with this added layer on top of it. We often sort of say that like we want this to be the new Beanfest area in some ways, where it's like we want it to be just the natural community hangout spot, where if you're just looking to chat, hang out, not really have anything too high stakes, but just socialize with friends, then like Clear Coasts is the place to go. So that's what I'm most excited about.
I've never
I know it was a
donated
long-winded
to a
answer,
Twitch
but I
stream
wanna
before.
Give a chance for Tony and Rush if you all have anything that you're excited about that you want to share too.
I will say this doesn't mean that the only tasks that we're going to see in Clear Coast are going to be like apprentice tasks, because I know those are the least popular tasks in the game. But like ways to kind of take that idea of an apprentice task and maybe like adjust it to be more interesting and fun. Because like I think that doing buildings with like Berg tunes to kind of give back and help out with like little old man tasks is really fun, but it's hard to find those kinds of players. Because if I want to do 20 buildings with somebody who's doing a little old man, that's really hard to just like stumble upon right now. So I think that maybe kind of investigating ways to like make that sort of group finding a little bit better is something that we probably want to prioritize a bit more. So kind of just like thinking in those sorts of terms.
I guess the question was, what are we most excited for with Clear Coast?
Yeah.
If
you want to think about it, or if you already have your answer, go ahead.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you got my back. Yeah, it's tough because it's just, I think I'm excited just to see like where we land on, and I think I'm excited, not directly related to the content, but I think I'm most excited for like that day one experience again. Like I loved seeing the hype, even though I wasn't there, for like something like Doomsday, you know, just like how everyone was so involved in that. It was not only just like something new for the game, but it was new for the story and it was new for the lore, and it just felt really nice and intertwined. So I'm excited to see something like that again, with how the community like rallies together for something big and new with Clear Coast. And especially of like where the story develops. But on top of that, I'm hoping if we get around to it, which I think we definitely are on track, I'm just excited to see like, on top of just the story elements of like how the cogs are like developing as well, with like this new story of like just them getting involved.
No, the
I
party
almost said
ended.
something, but yeah, no, I'm just excited to see like how the cogs will interact with the story, and how us as the players and even us as Toons counteract that, or just how we feel about that. Oh, thank
I
you.
guess
Good
stay
question.
tuned.
Yeah.
Well, to share something I'm excited about that we totally blew past our goal. We raised over 3,500. We're at 3,500 and just under 49. So I want to shout out all those donations. We got Violet Bunny with $30, heart emoji. Darth Anonymous, $4. Little Cat, $30, another heart emoji.
Like, I wonder if they'll say my
Michael
name
SK,
right.
$125.
That's pretty good.
Says, thanks for streaming with us again. We really appreciate the TTR team and all donors. Right
My
back at
turn.
you. We're very happy to be here and very appreciative of all
Oh, the party's
your
over.
generous donations.
Oh,
We
well.
also have Starkler76 with
You got it.
Whoa, $30. Toontown has a bright future, they say. I agree. We also have $30 from
Alpha
Sergeant
Key.
Jack
I'll remember that.
Tinker Marble. Awesome name. Thanks for making this game last. Toons of the World Unite. Right back at you. And also $10 from Pyro Griffin, I think is how that's said. So yes, we have met the goal and very much surpassed it. So I'm glad we upped the ante a little bit.
Nice,
Joey,
Charity.
would you like to take it away?
Joey.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to type ToonFest for charity and running out of space in chat. Yeah, so, sorry, I know we're a little over time, so I'm going to breeze through these, and these will be available later on. First, I guess I got to tell everyone the gag track.
The gag track.
I'll relate it to what we were just playing in game. One of the gag track ideas that was pitched that we decided not to go with, but was still very exciting to talk about, was the idea of party gags.
Party.
Gags that, like noisemakers and all sorts of fun things like that. Confetti blasts, fireworks, big birthday cake with a bunch of like cannons surrounding it. And those, one of the things that we were trying to do with them was provide like different buffs to other gags. So I think the idea there, if I can recall, I'm just kind of flipping through our design document, was that we wanted it to be a celebration of each other. So like you would sort of like celebrate another tune, and that would power their gags more so, like give them some kind of boost, whether it's accuracy or
that's
damage
interesting.
or something of that nature. And it was sort of like a gag track that was meant to
Look
be
at my name is
kind of
on
like
that
an
stream. That's
alternative support track
fantastic.
to tune up, where it was one where you could help out your team without
Magic
necessarily
gags
just giving
sounds
them
cool.
laugh, but like actively empowering their gags more so. We felt like as cool of an idea as it was, we liked some others a little bit better, especially just because like it kind of came down to, well, why would you choose to buff someone else's gag versus just using a gag of your own, if you could potentially do like double the damage that way. And so, while we had ideas for it, it just didn't quite make the cut, but it was still a very exciting one to explore. And since we blew things out of the water so much, the one other gag track idea that I'll let you all know that we aren't doing, but was still exciting to explore, that was also kind of related to Toon Parties, is called bouncy gags.
Bouncy.
And it was the idea of gags that would bounce things back at the cogs. So you could imagine a Toon sets up a trampoline in front of them, or
a reflection
pogo stick,
gag,
or a giant spring, and things like that. And as the cogs would attack the Toons, it would deflect the attack, and some damage would go to the Toons, but then damage would be deflected back to the cogs. That was a really fun twist on things. It was a very different way of thinking about Toontown battles that we thought was fun. Again, didn't quite make the cut. Not to say that we couldn't explore it again someday, but I do love the theme, especially of bouncy gags, because I can just easily imagine the silliness of like this giant spring trap that just kind of like launches something back, or a big trampoline. I think the level 7 gag for that one was actually going to be a giant bounce house that would just wrap around the Toons, and they would just be like bouncing in the bounce house, and then all the attacks that the cogs would use would be deflected back to them. So very fun ideas. Maybe one day, but it's not what you'll see with Clear Coast. We think that what we're doing for Clear Coast is going to be even better than those two ideas. So we'll raise the bar from there.
Spring trap.
Now, the exciting thing I wanted to reveal for hitting this goal is this is from Toontown Online that no one's ever seen before. In my hands here, these might look like just regular colored pieces of paper.
What is that?
But if you look at them very, very closely, let's see if I can find a good one. This one has some writing on it that says Flunky, with like a list of Flunky's attacks and a little number at the bottom. These cards are the original prototype Toontown trading cards, written by Jesse Schell. So
oh my
Jesse Schell
goodness.
was the writer
Prototypes.
for the Toontown trading cards that were sent out for Toontown Online, but they actually, the trading cards that we got are really cool because they're, they have some great artwork on them. They have some lore on the back of the card. For the cogs, they'll tell you like what the cogs' attacks are and stuff. But the original prototype of these cards was actually a full trading card game. And so like this, you'll see that there's cards here like, this is a Toon card named Squirrely. And Squirrely has what looks like 2 throw, squirt.
Oh, like a trading card battle system, like
have the other
Pokemon or something.
And
oh, that's cool.
the whole idea was that you could actually play like a Toontown battle with these cards by like getting them together with your friends and do a whole like trading card game, just like you would battle cogs in the game. You have things like the Windsor Knot, which is, you can see has like a +2 at the top there. And then there's also, let's see, a Tickling Feather, which for tune-up, so like cards that you could attach to Toons or cogs. And this was something that Jesse just kind of came by my desk at work one day and was like, hey, I found this thing that you might be interested in. I was just going through some old stuff. This is like just some random notes that I had and a little prototype about what the original Toontown trading cards were going to be. He's like, I don't know, like nothing really ever came of it. Like I couldn't quite crack the balance of it, but thought you'd find it cool. And I was like stunned, like sitting there like, thank you so much for trusting me with this. I will treasure it with my life. And so we're going to make sure that all of these get scanned and uploaded to the Toontown Preservation Project so that you can see for yourself what this Toontown trading card game could have been.
Nice.
I'll have to see as well if I can get more of a rundown of the rules from Jesse. He was struggling to recall them, but maybe with some time he'll be able to remember things a little bit better. But yeah, so that's our little reveal to thank you all for how much you've been supporting ToonFest for Charity and Extra Life. Also, just want to shout out the ToonFest for Charity organizers who have been doing this for a very long time, and thank them greatly for having us back to be a part of it. With that, I'll turn it to Danny to close us off.
Yeah, I just want to know, I was just looking at their charity page to make sure we didn't have any last minute donations, but it says they've been doing this for 11 years, which is awesome. So very cool. And thank you all so much for your donations. And thank you, Joey, for sharing that with everyone. That was really, really cool to see. I look forward to seeing that on the preservation project. Up next, I'm not sure who we've got up next, but I'm sure they're awesome and very Tony. And thank you all for your patience with us. I know we're a little bit over time. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Rush. Thank you all for sending in your questions. I've had a very fun time, and I hope you all did too. I think we're going to say goodnight to you all.
Yeah, I think the next streamer is Mori_Sinus. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but yeah, make sure to stick around and hang out with their stream because the fun is going to keep going all night long.
Oh yeah, the
Bye,
cake.
everybody.
Oh, there goes the
Bye.
stream.
Bye.
They
Thanks,
ended it.
everyone.
Thank you all so much. Well, this was an very interesting thing to just come up out of nowhere for me. I was about to edit something else together, and then all of a sudden, this whole thing comes, and Gia's like, "Come teleport to me," and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of staff members here." And then next thing I know I remembered that they happened to be doing that Toontown Rewritten charity stream. So, yeah. Velvet! Velvet! It's a moment in history! Come on. Oh wait, I gotta turn on new friends. Hang on. How do I turn on, like, friend requests? How do I turn it on? Controls. How do I turn on the oh jeez. How do I do it? From oh wait, group how do oh wait, there we go. Okay, where's Velvet? Velvet! There we go. Okay, now I can turn it back off. Okay. Okay, now how do I turn it off? I just added 2 people that were really awesome. There. Okay. Alright, well that's pretty much it for that. And you know what? I also donated to the stream, which was awesome. So, yeah, I guess that's it. If I decide to upload this, then great. I don't know if I will or not, but we'll see. Yeah, it was crazy. Alright, well, have a good one.